What's going on YouTube? How's everybody today? It's nice to hear. So today's Saturday, so we're going to talk about an album that I'm going to bring out with me to DJ on Saturday. And believe it or not, when people get drunk, they start asking for all kinds of weird bands and, like, you know, terrible music. Sometimes good music. And a band that actually gets requested quite regularly is Hall Oates. People ask for, like, Kisses on My List and Man Eater and Private Eyes, all kinds of weird Hall Oates songs, and I was never really a big Hall Oates fan ever. I always thought their music was kind of like a joke. I thought it was just some, like, you know, dumb 80s. But then I actually, you know, sat down and went through a bunch of their singles, and it was like, yeah, it's all pretty cheesy, dorky stuff. But yeah, I guess I was on YouTube a while ago, and this guy was just playing records, and he played I Can't Go For That, No Can Do, and I was like, whoa, I remember this song from when I was a kid, and I remember really liking that song a lot. It had a lot of slow, a lot of soul, a lot of, you know, like, flavor to it. It's kind of like a minimal little song, and I didn't know it was by Hall Oates, and I was like, really? So I just checked out to see what album it was off of, and it was off of this album, Private Eyes, and, like, I Can't Go For That. It's probably, like, one of my favorite all-time songs. Like, this song was badass. But yeah, this album's, like, you know, it's typical 80s. I did a little research on it, and it turns out it was, like, you know, one of their best-selling albums. They recorded it, while they were recording it, the album that came up before this was called Voices, and that album became a breakthrough during the recording process. They only spent a couple of months making this album. And this album actually was a lot more successful. It's called, like, the definitive Hall Oates album and stuff. You know, really shows the Hall Oates are getting comfortable in their, like, you know, formula and their, like, songwriting and, you know, creativity is at a peak and all that. It was released in 1981 on RCA, and I guess it's got this genre of music called either, like, modernized blue-eyed soul or Philly soul from Philadelphia, and I don't know anything about blue-eyed soul. I assume that's, like, soul music by white people, and it's got a lot of new wave and rock and pop influences in it. It's 13 songs, 55 minutes long, and yeah, it's just typical 80s. I can't say it's, like, especially good. If you're looking for some, like, you know, if you're having, like, a strong 80s Jones, you want to listen to some 80s cheese, there's lots of it on here. There's, like, Mano y Mano's an especially dorky song, and what else do we got in here? Did It in a Minute, like, all these songs that you'll remember when you hear them, and, like, I Can't Go For That's on here, which is great. I love playing that song. I don't think a Saturday goes by where I don't play I Can't Go For That. It's such a cool little dark song, a little minimal, you know, guitar, and, like, it's got a little drum beat, very, like, you know, kind of weird lyrics to it. Yeah, it's got Private Eyes and stuff, but yeah, my boss hates this album, and the only song I really play off here was, I Can't Go For That. But yeah, it's got pretty slick production. Like, I guess it says, like, it's got such a sleek sound because it's using state-of-the-art technology for 1991. Yeah, it had, I think, two #1 hits and a bunch of others that broke the top 10 and, like, I don't know, went multi-platinum and all that. Hall Oates is this duo, Daryl Hall, John Oates. They formed in 1972. I think they went to the same school, and their early career they were making all this kind of, like, folk rock music. They were really folky, and Tony Mottola, actually, I think that's the guy who signed them to Atlantic. Blah blah blah. Anyway, there's a bunch of other bands that were coming out, like, to be competition with these guys back in 1981, like Duran Duran and Culture Club and Peter Gabriel. Rolling Stone magazine gave this a review and said they were suffering from pretty boy syndrome, or people are just into them because of their cheekbones and their haircuts. I'm like, I don't think these guys are pretty boys. Like, maybe Daryl Hall's, you know, kind of a parody boy, but John Oates and that mustache, he looks like a fucking porn star. Like, pretty boy, but I don't know. It's got all kinds of, like, 80s gems, quotation marks on here, lots of saxophones and synths and, you know, keyboards. You know, it's got a very much so, like, a soul-inflected kind of sound with, you know, rock, pop type shit. But if you haven't heard I Can't Go For That, that's the song we're listening to right now, and it's a fucking deadly song, man. Not much in the way of artwork on here, and yeah, Hall Oates is never a band to really, like, release albums. Like, albums was their main focus. They're always a band that just focused on songs and singles, so, like, there's no real theme to the album except, you know, paranoia and, like, spying on your girlfriend and using your imagination and shit like that. Like, it's not really much substance on it. It's songs about confrontation and stuff like that, but you know, kind of love soul ballads. But yeah, the song we're listening to now is fucking awesome, but I don't know, it's got some subtle effects on the vocals and all this, twinkling keyboards. But yeah, it's just Hall Oates. Like, if you don't know anything about Hall Oates, like, I don't know, just pick up like a best of and you'll get all the songs you probably need on here. I just wanted to check out, see what a whole album would sound like. And, you know, I got what I expected, I guess. Hall Oates, Private Eyes, released in 1981, RCA Records. Maybe it sounds better when you're drunk, I have no idea.